All right, fellas, this is going to be an esoteric one, but pay attention, this is very important. High testosterone men learn from their setbacks, and over time, over the long run, this becomes more and more important. Guys, it's no good being high testosterone when you're 18 and then being a complete simp the rest of your life. Over the long run, this stuff matters a lot. This can be the difference between the making of a man and the destroying of him. Think divorces, think job losses, think being cheated on by your significant other, think major injuries, that kind of thing. These things can make you or break you, and how you respond to them can determine the entire future of your life. So I'm going to run through some examples, but the key to keep in mind here is that you've got to look at life strategically. Instead of getting upset and emotional about stuff and getting angry at the world or angry at other people or angry at certain things and, point at everything else and say everything else isn't fair. Sometimes you're right to do that to some degree, but it's not helpful. Instead of doing that, you've got to look at life as a bit of a chessboard. I know I'm not the first person to say this, but it's very true. Look at what the best move is for you with the rest of your life in mind. So, some examples. Perhaps something happened in the past where you weren't respected by another guy or several guys. Perhaps you could tell instinctively that they were kind of squaring up to you a little bit. It's kind of what's not the unspoken, what's not said. And instinctively, you know that they don't respect you. That's the point. You have different options here. You can get emotional or angry at the other person or say that they're the problem or whatever, but maybe they probably are. Or you can get down to the gym and pack on 20 pounds of muscle, because on some level you instinctively know that's going to make other people respect you more. Men, certainly. I can tell you from 15 years of lifting weights, yes, men absolutely respect you more when you're jacked, obviously. In case anyone's wondering. Another example. And again, a lot of this is intuition. It's when you have that gut feeling that something's off, you then have a choice afterwards in terms of how you respond to that. So perhaps another one for some of you guys is you have fun time with a member of the opposite sex. Again, I can't remember what words I'm allowed to use. Algorithm and all that. Fun times. And then afterwards, she starts to act a little bit snappier or a little more disagreeable, or her tone of voice changes. It's a little more, I don't know, it's hard to put your finger on. It's an intuitive thing you're kind of picking up on in the back of your mind. When I promise you that woman wouldn't respond that way to other guys. She would be more, in some cases, she would be obsessing over the guy. She would be getting more submissive. But with you, she's snappier. Something's happened. And intuitively, you know something is off. Or maybe she's flirting with other guys or something, instead of focusing on you at the dinner table or whatever. You're at a social function or something. That upsets you. You can get angry. You can start hating women or hating her or something. Or you can take the other path of, something is off here. She doesn't respect me like she used to, or like she could, or like someone else could. Maybe I should do something about this. Maybe I should work on my bedroom stuff. Maybe my libido is not there. Maybe the hardness isn't there. Maybe whatever. And you start to work through different options. This is looking at life like a chessboard, which is the correct thing to do if you're being logical and rational and you're using your brain instead of your prefrontal cortex, instead of the reptilian lizard brain, which is far more emotional, far more erratic, far more fickle, and it's far more impulsive. It doesn't have the long term in mind. And looking at things looking at life as a chessboard and the next possible move, yeah, perhaps getting your testosterone up is going to be the biggest, most foundational thing. There's more to it than that. Obviously, you've still got to put in a good performance, size matters, things like that. But testosterone is the first thing to look at. It's foundational. Maybe something happens in your workplace. Maybe there's a co-worker that doesn't really respect you. In which case that you could be upset about that. Or you could, I mean, gaining muscle, if he's a male colleague, is probably going to help. But competence in the workplace is a big deal. Masculine guys tend to be more competent, generally speaking. Tech jobs being the exception to that. There's a lot of tech nerds who are not very masculine. But anyway, perhaps you get laid off. Perhaps you lose your job or source of income. Perhaps you're in a financial mess. Perhaps you're stressing out about paying the bills. Or maybe you're one of these guys who's a little higher than that. Maybe you make 6 figures or whatever, and you're stressing out about keeping up with the Joneses, keeping up appearances, affording that Porsche, genuinely being able to afford that Merc without going into debt. Maybe the debt's stressing you out. Again, these are all signs that something is wrong. Negative emotions, that's all they are. It's feedback. It's feedback that something is off, something needs fixing, you should do something differently. That's all it is. But you've got the subconscious part of you, which is going to get upset and try and personalize everything. It thinks it's under attack. It's going to look for enemies to blame. And again, maybe there's some truth to this, but getting really angry and directing all of your energy at this other person not only empowers them, it's also wasting your own energy. Your own energy should be focusing on the chessboard, which is your life, and making the best possible move afterwards. And again, I know I'm probably biased here, but a lot of this is going to come back to your own physical body, your own hormones, which then can be used to help you with whatever your problem is. Yes, higher testosterone makes you end up making more money, especially if you're like self-employed or you're a trader or perhaps certainly you get paid by the hour, or your payment is based on results. Maybe you're in sales or something, contractor, whatever. Testosterone also just makes hard things feel good. So the work, whatever your work is, it feels good, so you do more of it. You tend to do better when you do more work. So yeah, really this is one of those esoteric videos that some of you guys like, and I like recording them. But unsuccessful men, low testosterone men, are men who, when things get tough, they get emotional and they start making rash decisions and blaming everything on other people, even if they might be kind of right to do so. It isn't the correct move. It's not. Long term, 5 years from now, is blaming your ex or blaming your boss going to improve your life? No, it just isn't. Or is getting your testosterone up to 1,000, packing on 20 pounds of muscle and getting leaner, not necessarily at the same time, getting leaner, getting better looking, making, I don't know, adding 30% to your after-tax income. Are those things going to improve your life? Is improving your libido, getting better in the bedroom, things like that. Improving your social intelligence, which is linked to having a sharp brain. You're not going to do this if your stomach health is off, and therefore your brain's off, or your mental health is off. Guys with depression, I don't know if you've got any experience with this, guys, but I've spoken to guys with depression. It's like they're autistic or something, because the brain isn't working properly. They're slow, they're sluggish in the mind. It is not attractive to women at all. It's also not attractive in a job interview if you're sluggish, or your brain's not working, or you're not reading social cues correctly, and it's ultimately because your brain's not working properly. Yeah, it's a big deal. And yes, hormones absolutely play into that. Testosterone estradiol, thyroid even, vitamin deficiencies. It ties into everything. And the unsuccessful men get emotional and they want to get angry and blame the world. Successful guys and high testosterone guys, at least over the long term, are going to look at themselves before anything else, and they're going to look at the best move that they can possibly make in that moment and for the long term. If you liked this video, you're going to really enjoy another esoteric testosterone principle video, which was this one. It was the one sort of mindset that all high testosterone men have. What I've just spoken about is a huge one, but this one I talk about resiliency and things like that, things of that nature. Check that video out. I give a lot of good examples again in that video. You'll find it useful.